If for whatever reason I were only to choose 10 summer fragrances out of my entire 1,500 plus bottle collection to wear forever, these would be some of the ones I'm going for. Now, we all know, you and I both, that something like this would never in a million years happen, but it is kind of fun to think about anyways. And I think what it really does is it provides you guys with some insight on what I'm really digging right now, what I'm wearing and utilizing, and just some things that I really enjoy. And you might notice that there are a few of these that have been by my side for years, like since the beginning. And of course, we've got some newer scents in here as well that are obviously newer acquisitions that I've really started to like. But we've got some classics too. And after all, summer is my favorite time of year in general. And so with that comes heavy use of summer fragrances, which I also really enjoy. So we're gonna go through those 10 today. This first one is Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. Now this is gonna be, of course, your Dior Savage DNA. An interesting thing about this, you know, for those who are maybe a bit newer, this came out before there were any Savage flankers. So you guys know Savage is in pretty deep now in terms of all the different versions that they have. But at the time, all there was Dior Savage. Just the Eau de Toilette, that was it. And then Prada Luna Rossa Carbon came out not long after, and this was kind of dubbed as the smoother, more well-rounded Savage, because that's really what it smells like. It takes the sharpness out of Savage and you get Prada Carbon essentially. Now, of course, these days we have Savage EDP and the Parfum, which kind of achieves a similar thing. But at the time, that wasn't an option. And even still to this day, with all of the Savage flankers, I still like Carbon. I like it a lot. Maybe it's just because it's something I've had for a long time, so there's one of those for you. But I don't know. There's something that is just, it's fuzzy, kind of bubbly, nice ambroxan, smooth, just a touch of sweetness, and then you still get a little bit of that bergamot, maybe just a touch of pepper, but it just isn't nearly as spicy as Savage. It has a lot of lavender, so more of an aromatic makeup, and also this coal note that they list off, which you don't really necessarily smell, but this does kind of give off a texture that you would, I guess, associate with that when you really think about it. Basically, it's just this metallic kind of coal smell that this has, along with all that ambroxan, lavender, aromatic freshness as well. Prada Luna Rossa Carbon probably doesn't need to be explained a whole lot, but it's one that I really enjoy for summer. You could wear it any time of the year. You're not going to mess this one up. My personal preference, though, is going to be that warmer time of year, spring, summer, things like that. This is going to be running you typically around $70 or so for a 100 ml bottle like this. Not too bad, right? Used to be cheaper, but just isn't the case anymore. Mine's about empty. Could stand to get another one. I'd probably opt for the 150 if I could get a good deal on it. Definitely one I would keep around. This next one is cool. It's a discontinued fragrance, but you can get it right now. And when opportunities like this come up, I'd seize the advantage because it's really cool to be able to get you guys into some scents that have been gone for a long time. This is Jean Paul Gaultier Lebo Male. Not to be confused with Lebo, like modern day. This is the 2013 release. Just came in stock. Now this is my 125 ml bottle. The 75 ml bottle is what's in stock right now for $60. Now I'll link it down below. I'll label it, but it'll be the second link under fragrances. This one has mint, lavender, and musk. So as I mentioned, way back to 2013, this was even before, you know, Popeye, Superman, Oh Fresh, but this is kind of essentially what those are in a nutshell. You guys remember Superman, Popeye came first, the Oh Fresh flankers. They had the mint, that kind of green smell. This has a very similar smell, and I'm telling you, you know, I smelled this here recently because I've actually been wearing it here and there a little bit in the heat, and it smells amazing. There's just something about that is great. Just, I don't know, reminds me of simpler times for some reason. I don't know why, but it's just minty green, fresh with a little bit of that Le Mans sweetness. I really like it. I'm going to spray it one more time. I went ahead and got myself another bottle simply because I want to have that security where I won't feel as bad about wearing this one as often now. So if you want to kind of capture that Oh Fresh style smell that has been done within the Le Mans lineup over the years, this would be an opportunity to do so. Again, they've done that a few times, but all of the Oh Fresh versions in the Le Mans lineup are discontinued at this point. They bring them back every now and then as like a limited run and discontinue it again. But here's a chance to grab one. I sent out an email first, and then I put a post up over on my community tab on YouTube. So make sure you sign up to that mailing list, and also just check over on my community tab as well. I post there pretty much every day, just cool stuff coming in stock. So good opportunity to get kind of a little collector's piece here, dating all the way back to 2013 release year. That's pretty cool that stuff like this still pops up from time to time. This next one is Hugo Boss bottled. It's bold citrus, big old 200 ml. Definitely don't have to worry about running out if you get something like this. This one's got lemon, bergamot, geranium, vetiver. Real nice, fitting to its name. No surprise there, right? Bold citrus. It is definitely citrus forward, no doubt, with a little bit of a musky dry down. Is it bold? I would say that, yeah, it kind of is a bit on the bolder side. It's not something that is really smooth and really quiet. It's kind of a punchier citrus take, a little bit sour at times even, especially off the opening. So definitely one that is a little bit more head turning, and to use the name here, a little bit more bold. Personally, I have no problem with that at all, because a lot of citrus-based fragrances can start to run together and smell similar over time. It's not the case with this. To me, it does stand out. Also, as far as the Boss bottled lineup goes, we don't have a ton of good summer releases. Now, we've got Tonic, and there have been a few over the years that have been out, a lot of which discontinued, so on and so forth. But as far as like in production summer versions, don't really have any. We do now, because to me, this one is really good. It's one of their better summer releases. But we didn't have that before this, really, because we've got Boss Bottled Absolute and Elixir, which are killer for fall and winter time. So it's nice to have something that's more complementary to spring and summer. It's a really nice one. This next one is Odaparfam Intense. I absolutely love this version, and you guys know why. Say it with me. No sweet apple. And, trust me, I still love Odaparfam. I love that apple from time to time when I'm in the mood for it. I find myself to gravitate towards this one more, because more often than not, I'm not really wanting that sweet apple, especially in the summer. Now, I have worn Odaparfam in the summer quite often over the years, especially when really all that was out was YEDT and YEDP, back around when it first came out. So of course I wore it. But now, to me, I feel as though I have a better option, or even maybe a better couple of options. This and Le Parfum 2025 for summer wear are gonna be my choices. In a perfect world, if YO Fresh was still in production, that would be at the top of the list too, but it isn't. So this one here, focusing more on the sage and the lavender, the geranium, just basically a lot more aromatic and less sweet. Still get that ambroxan amberwood base, which is just kind of that blue fragrance smell that you come to expect out of this lineup. So that's really where this one stands. What I do like is that you're not sacrificing performance. So the Odaparfam is a very strong performer, and so is this. Now, is it quite as strong? We might be, the difference of like an hour or something of longevity, but even that is just like, when you get to that point, it's hard to be really scientific with longevity testing because of all of the variables that come into play. So I really just kind of venture to say there's really not much of a difference in performance at all. This is still very strong and long lasting. Let's go for Parfums de Marley Greenley. I really like this stuff. Green apple, oak moss based scent basically is what it is. No surprise there. Got a couple green notes right off the top. Sour, punchy green apple, a strong, woody, masculine smelling oak moss, which gives it more of that traditional cologne masculine smell that we find is a bit absent in a lot of newer releases. And so that's kind of what I like about this one. And that use of oak moss separates this from the rest of the line and the rest of a lot of other fragrances tremendously. You get a bit of bergamot in the mix as well, and then a little bit of musk later on in the dry down, but those aren't my main focuses here. It's mostly just that green apple and that oak moss. Kind of a bit of a woodiness to it, coming from the oak moss, of course. It smells really, really good. And again, to kind of hammer it home, something unique, against the grain, not your usual summer scent, which is why I gravitate towards this one. Yet another great performer here. You're paying up for this stuff, of course, unless you can get it on sale, and that sale price would be around $200. If you could get it for that price, I think it's well worth it. It's something that is, again, going to be great performance, good quality, and even a good compliment getter. Prada L'Homme Low. I've talked about this one a lot recently, mainly just because it's really impressive for the price, at least to me. It's cheaper than all of the other Prada L'Hommes by far. Prada L'Homme Intense is $80, $85. Prada L'Homme regular is not too far off of that mark. And then this one is going to be, I don't know, probably $20 less sometimes. I've seen it down into that $60 range before for 100 ml, and to me that's a great price for Prada L'Homme Low. It's just a really good scent. It still has the neroli, the citrus, and the powdery notes, and of course the iris, but everything about it is fresher, it's lighter. It's even just a bit watery at times, even though they don't list off any aquatic notes or watery notes. I don't know if it's just from the neroli and the blend of everything, but I just get just a touch of a light, wispy, watery accord. It smells great, and it by far is the best usage case for summertime. I mean, you could wear the original Prada L'Homme in summer, it's going to work fine, but I would prefer this one. This next one is Invictus Aqua. It's the 2024 version, okay? So happy to see this. They brought it back from the dead. What is that? Well, the 2016 version, which looks basically like this. They brought it back to life. Same frosted glass look, and more importantly, basically, I mean, the same smell. Are there differences? It's just not really. I mean, one thing you have to think of too is Invictus Aqua 2016. My bottles are from like 2016, 2017 versus a brand new bottle of a newly compounded scent. And so you're going to have a little bit of a difference just from the age of the scent alone. So it's not really always the best comparison. But what I can tell you is that again, it's basically the same thing. There's zero need to go and hunt down Invictus Aqua 2016 anymore, because now you can get the 2024. They have a new 2025 out with a bottle that looks like this, but it's angular like Invictus Parfum. I'm hoping that's going to be the same smell because it's the same frosted glass. We'll see. So those days of needing to hunt down 2016 are over, at least for now. But you could just hunt down 2024 if you needed to. One of the strongest aquatic fragrances that I own, and that is Made, really. You know, this, and I don't know, Aqua Atlantique maybe, Aqua Amara are a couple really strong ones from that era. But just that fresh, sweet, salty, ambroxan focused scent is amazing. Going to be on the younger end of things, of course. It's an Invictus scent, but other than that, I say get it. You know, $115, $116 right now, 100 ml. That's not cheap, okay, but at the same time, it's well worth it. It makes up for it in the performance, and especially the compliment factor, which is one of the main reasons why this 2016 version, or well, this looking 2016 version, became so popular. Dior Homme Cologne is yet another no-brainer for me, and I busted out the 200 ml bottle for this one just because it looks cool. I never wear it out of this. I wear it out of my other one, hence why I don't even think has ever been sprayed, but I have it just in case. And just the coloration, that's one of my favorite parts about that. Look at the coloration of that liquid in there. It's really cool. Got 3 notes to this one. Basically, you've got a little bit of bergamot, a little bit of what I believe to be an orange blossom, and then a musk. I can never remember if it's orange blossom or grapefruit blossom, but I think it's orange blossom. Double check, I don't know. One of the two. Basically, it's citrusy, punchy, musky. Interestingly enough, what I do believe that they don't list off is any sort of lemon. But to me, it kind of smells like lemonade sometimes, like really ice cold, sweet lemonade. So maybe there is lemon, they're just not telling us. And I don't need to describe this one any further because it is so popular. It's pricey, $110, $115 or so for the normal size 125 ml bottle. So expensive. You can get a 200 like this for $148, which is, I mean, it's a really good price per milliliter. You double your amount for not a whole lot more. Just not everybody needs this much, so that's going to be up to the person. But I would say if you have a smaller collection and you plan on wearing this a lot, this definitely makes sense. I mean, you would have to work hard at it to really burn through this. It would take you a good several summers at least. Versace Dylan Blue, one of the best affordable summer fragrances. I mean, any time of year fragrance, but I do love it for summer. It might not be everybody's first thought, you know, because of that kind of patchouli incense combo that it has. You do get the bergamot, you do get the ambroxan, of course, but that patchouli incense combo, kind of like I was talking about, and that's used heavily in Acqua di Gio Profumo, that might throw some people off. For me, it doesn't bother me one bit. Now, I would be selective. There might be a few certain days in summer where it's just too humid, wouldn't wear it, go for anything else pretty much, but more often than not, I have no problems wearing Dylan Blue in the summer. I've done it many times for years. Dylan Blue is one of the first fragrances that I started my collection with, so had it for a long time. And we're going to finish this video off with Acqua di Gio Profondo, what is becoming a classic. I mean, it's 5 years old, but it's going to be a classic at some point. I don't really see this going anywhere. I think they did it right. They created something unique, something new, something different, which to me is maybe a bit challenging to do within the kind of aquatic DNA. Just because a lot of things in this category start to smell similar, not at all the case with Profondo. It has the mineral notes and the orange. You do get a little bit of this slight kind of blue fragrance smell, just maybe bits and pieces of some ambroxan and stuff later on. It's not near as strong as something like Dylan Blue, for example, in terms of that type of ambroxan focus, but still it is somewhat prevalent. But it's mostly about the mineral notes with the aquatic notes, or the marine notes, I think they officially call it, and then just that orange, some sage, some more aromatic notes as well. Something bright, uplifting, refreshing, and most importantly, different. Again, it's been out for 5+ years now, so it might not seem groundbreaking anymore, but when it first came out, man, there was nothing else like this. Alrighty guys, there you have it. If I were to only choose 10 summer fragrances out of my entire collection to rock with forever, I mean, these are kind of going to be it right now. So I'm going to link everything down below to discounters, make it real easy for you to find these and to save some money as well, instead of paying retail price, unless you absolutely wanted to. And then, like I said, anytime something rare, discontinued, hard to find comes into stock, which is often, I send out an email to my mailing list and a text to my texting list. You can sign up to both of those at the link and number down below. I also post over on my community tab here on YouTube, especially for things that are kind of lower stock. I can't send out an email when something is not, you know, of sufficient stock, because it would sell out too quick. So I do post on the community tab a lot. That's where you can find stuff like this, okay? Mailing list community tab, Lamal or Lebo Mail is what it is, okay? Really cool minty green scent, 2013 release, cool collector's piece. You're not going to find this stuff anywhere else unless you're following me and on my mailing list, so I'll see you in there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.